Good day everyone, back to some more Blue Archive as Dressaro has graced us with her presence. You know what that means? Time to give her some good old rolling. Now, alongside Dressaro is of course Dress Kayako rated up. Dress Kayako effectively, you could look at her as sort of an urban version of Kosa. See, the way she works is, as her infiltration activates, she starts guaranteed, her EX will guarantee crit, and of course together in infiltration she basically has to not be attacked. So as long as if she gets hit, then you have to wait 10 seconds before it activates again, and then her EX will guarantee crit. She basically turns into Miko if she's not hit. An urban Miko. However, there's some caveats here. Also, she ignores defense, so effectively she's best in situations against bosses that are weak to yellow and that have extremely high defense, but also have attacks that aren't AoE enough to hit her often enough that it's going to knock her out of getting her damage off. Which basically means Urban Bina is the only thing that you would use her against to this point. Meanwhile, Haru here. It's kind of apropos, I was looking at Akko when I said that, because effectively she is actual striker or Akko buggerel. Same thing with the massive crit damage up. The only thing she doesn't have, and she also decreases crit resistance on the enemies as well, so that's handy. So she is, unlike Dressaro, Dressaru is actual striker Akko, whereas Dressaro is more of a striker, I guess closer to Imari. Then there's, yeah, for single target at least, then Campare would be an AoE. I guess Campare is more of a striker version of Kotama. Probably be the way to put it. But suffice it to say, she, I mean, those are Akko and Imari are still the most busted supports in the game for most of the content, so having striker versions of them available is nothing but a good thing. Simply opens up your team building options, especially if you need a multi-team tournament. But enough jibber jabber, let's start the pain drain, shall we? Actually had a bit of a hiccup getting this stream started. Sound issues, headset being wonky. There's no fun in that.
怪我をされた方はいらっしゃいます。ご主人様と一緒に楽しいゲヘナ学園給食部のお会いできて嬉しいです。
Hoping for more of the is it Meru?
私が説明や
I forget the name of the 2-star
お会いできて嬉しいです。 怒ってないから。
Little
空あやねです。
purple AoE
ただいまより
green
先生
haired
の支援
lass.
を担当し
Didn't
ま
get
す。
to hear that. That's alright. Hoping I'm sincerely hoping we don't go to we don't have to go to Spark here. For obvious reasons, but just even more so because the fact that next phase is one where you may have to double Spark since there's two of the bloody things. It's just cruel if you ask me.
夢かと思った。自警団任務の延長ですね。怪我をされた方はいらっしゃいますか？ごきげんよう。
You had a bit of a bugaboo getting this stream. There she is, Momiji. I was mixing her name up with someone else. From Red Winter. She's actually quite good. Of course, the issue is actually getting her started up. But, no more tickets. We're dipping into the pyroxene pile now. The horror.
小さいからってなめないで。将来性はものすごいんだから。奥空あやねです。ミレニアムサイエンススクール所属。ゲヘナ学園給食部。ミレニアムサイエンススクール。
I actually don't know why I'm not just doing this.
よかったんでしょうか。邪魔だと思いましたら。いつでもおっしゃってください。
Reminds me, I didn't check. I know we have the bounties. Bonus drop going. I imagine we have a hard mode one as well, which is a bit awkward considering events. Yeah, we got something there. Let's hope there's something good. Seems to me there. That reminds me. Wait, no, never mind. Chesed is coming out in a couple of weeks after this event, so be girding your loins for that. Okay, no. Oh. You beauty.
今回はどんな依頼？それともビジネスの提案かしら。まあどちらにしても来てくれて嬉しいわ、先生。怒ってないから。
Pretty chuffed about that because, especially since after this event, New Year Akari is going to be rated up, and I need to roll for her as well. Okay, basically there are. I suppose I can take the time to, since this will be a laughably short stream otherwise. There's a new game mode coming along. I actually forget when exactly it comes out, but it's a new type of raid sort of. And with it comes some unique team building opportunities. So, okay, so 72k would be 3 sparks, so we're 18,000 away. Well, we'll call it 18,000, it's really more like 17.1. I'm actually let's do it. Alright. actually hesitate to. Yeah, didn't think so. So, you have to get more of those. Unfortunately, so we just had the triple drop on both normal nodes and commissions, and I took, since we just got new campaign nodes, I took the opportunity to, and with them, our first set of tier 9 equipment. I decided to go ahead and farm this stuff first. So I spend it all farming that and trying to get several rank 9 equipment on important students. But unfortunately, that means I wasn't able to grind out experience with the commissions. So that and them recently bumping us up to level 90 has, speaking of, I do need to go ahead and get her on up to 19. No watches yet, that'll be on the next batch. They can wait for now. It's funny how I went from strangely lacking in red single target DPS to all of a sudden just being eaten up with it. Because we have Aru, we have Swimsuit Nonami, we have Asa, of course we have Dressina. I suppose you could even count Mutsuki away there, depending on if you can get her position properly. Speaking of, what's am I doing on? Oh, we're so close. Cheeky little bugger. How did I forget to do this? Actually hesitate to do that right now. I always get paranoid that I'll end up using something and then they'll be like, oh, I really need to use this student for so-and-so thing, but now I don't have the materials to juice him up enough. Scorio is very underrated, I feel. She can sneak up on you and be useful in a lot of tricky situations that you wouldn't expect. In fact, the Grand Assault that just ended with the Chiton, she was good. She was a good tank for that. In fact, I used her as the tank for I want to say blue. Yeah, I think it was blue. I used her as the tank. For yellow, Miko was the tank, and it was just double UE action. So that was fun. And of course, red. Dressina just laughs all over that raid. I didn't try Torment though. Well, I should have, but I'm just happy to finally being fairly consistently being able to clear Insane for a lot of these. Right, apologies, I got distracted. I was supposed to be talking about new game mode. So Set is sort of a super raid boss kind of deal, where instead of the normal team of 4 strikers, 2 specials, it's doubled, so you instead have 8 strikers and 4 specials. So, what does this mean? Well, it opens up a lot of new avenues for team building. For one, you need need you a good tank, of course, naturally, that stays the same. But you need sustain, so you need AoE healing. But one of the big things it does is it allows, so right now the meta is basically hyper buffing. This is more of a just a general campaign fighter squad here, so it's not a good example. Mika's there for obviously one-shotting the bosses. Here, we'll just slap together. Random. Just attack. Just crit. Just attack. But let me think. So normally I'm not sure if I should say this because I'm not 100% on the interaction. I do know, okay. So normally same type buffs on same skills don't stack. So whichever the newest one is that you put on someone overrides. This is a good example. This cost recovery. So her cost recovery will not stack with, say, Sherry knows, because it's the same. It's on the sub skill. It's the same type of buff. But something like I think it does stack with this because it's like an aura thing. But what I was getting at is okay, never mind. This is one other than, so it would be something like this. So a better example would be in a circular area. So I'm fairly certain that this will stack with regular Arcos crit up, even though they're both crit ups on the AX skill, because Dress Arcos is an aura, like it's an AoE. Oh. My apologies. There is a difference between maybe New Year Akari is the proper example. Yeah, because it emanates from the vehicle she summons. That's an aura, so those will stack. Yeah. Apologies, I was getting a bit mixed up on. I'm still a bit fuzzy on which ones count as auras and which ones don't. But auras, even with the same type of buffs from the same type of skills, should stack with each other. There's definitely... I definitely have an example here, I'm just trying to remember who it is. Someone that summons something and everyone that's standing nearby gets the effects of it, as long as they're in the radius. But... oh wait. She should be down here. here. No, that isn't. Well, yeah, so if you read Nuya Akari's EX skill, it says increases the attack speed and mystic effectiveness of all allies except self in a circular area around her vehicle, as long as they're within range. So that is an aura. So that means it should stack with other attack speed or mystic effectiveness buffs in that case. So maybe it's all about the wording. One case. Also, I didn't finish. I keep getting sidetracked. We'll keep our tank, support, not support, DPS rather, and then we'll support her. So let's see. See, this is a targetable. Okay, that's attack, so we need crit. Alright, so you do something like this in the current meta, in raids or challenge quests and the like, oftentimes, where you've got your take and then you've got lots of buffs. You hyper buff a single DPS. Well, in the set raids, with the set tower, it's really some sort of tower thing. You would instead you can use multiple DPS, at least 2. Now, what this means is students that have AoE buffs as opposed to single target buffs become a lot more useful. Finally getting to actually what I was trying to say, bugger all. Sorry, your little where is she? There she is. Your Kotomas. She actually becomes quite good, really good even in these situations. Your Kotomas, your dress Arcos, your dress. Sorry, hold on. Your why am I? Swimsuit UE becomes even better. Although I don't think there's been a yellow set yet. I think they've only been red and blue so far. So one should be coming. But I don't know. I'd have to double check that I'm not behind on JP. Of course, Swimsuit Oshino is always great, but she's got the AoE attack increase as well as increasing red damage for everyone that's in range. But since it's a static, standing still boss fight, then you don't have to worry about them running out of your range as you run along the street in the map. So that's good. Oh, and as you can see, I went ahead and bit the bullet and started her up some. She was already pushing 5 stars, so it wasn't too bad. I stopped it to UE40 for now, because I was running into an issue where she was dying a little. She was dying pretty consistently right at the beginning of second phase in the red raid that we just had. The red version of the raid we just had, overall. So I did that to try to keep her alive, but she died anyway, so what's it really matter? Or, more specifically, no, my apologies, she didn't die after this, but the clear time didn't actually improve by all that much, so was it really worth it? Probably. There has been times where she's been a bit squishy for me, so. Yeah, she becomes really useful in those raids, as she is pretty much everywhere. Furthermore, there's also a little thing where it's not your typical big burst damage types, like super buff and then EX skill. It's in fact consistent auto attackers that shine as the DPS in the set towers. So maybe some of you underused students like, well, there's Izuna and, well, especially Swimsuit Izuna. She's one of the best ones for the blue raids. See, Focus Assault's really important as well, because there'll be a point where he summons this red ball that you need to blow up quickly, or it's a paddling. We'll put it that way. I will need to star her up eventually, but she's already on the cusp of 5-star, thankfully. So it won't take much to max her out. Plus, we have time until, well, whenever they drop the raids. It shouldn't, I don't think it's too far from now, but I can't quite remember exactly when. Of course, I need to max these two out as well, because these are important. Attack speed buffs become a lot bigger in that, because again, just consistent, strong auto attacks are the name of the game for DPS in the tower, so she becomes really good as a blue DPS. However, number 1 blue DPS for now, until next FES, where she's knocked down to number 2, is Sakurako. So I've already done the skill ups for in preparation, which leaves just doing all this mess, which is going to be painful. Of course, there's also just leveling her. Let's hope I actually have enough experience to do so when the time comes. But yeah, she's the queen of blue initially, and she's still fairly competitive when I believe it's Shiroko Terra is the one that overtakes her. I know one of them do. I know one of them does, but let me see. Yeah, it's Shiroko Terra. Because when she summons her drone rather, not drum, it boosts her auto attack damage by a lot. I find it interesting that they released both of them as Mystic. Yeah, it seems to be Chiroko Sarah is the one. Just refamiliarizing myself with the kits. Combat mode. DPS mode. Tactical Ochino is sort of like a blue Akko. And then of course the tank one's not for DPS, so. That's a ways off, and hopefully my New Year right. So New Year Akari is thankfully non-limited, so she is spooky. She is outstanding for the set rates because she provides a great deal of really valuable effects that all benefit said raid. And that's, for one, the vehicle she summons is actually quite tanky, so it tanks for the team. So she's an extra tank. She increases attack speed and blue damage, as aforementioned, so that's two really useful buffs. And she provides AoE defense up for the party. Which just makes them much more survivable and allows your healers more breathing room to top everyone off. So she provides defense buff, attack speed buff, over 60% mystic effectiveness up as well, and tanks for the team as well. It's actually brilliant. She's really good. Really useful for those raids. She really provides the comfort in them. Alright. So that's why I'm going ahead and targeting her. Basically, there are a lot of units that are coming up that are all very specifically tailored for the raids. A lot of them are. So it basically becomes a matter of picking and choosing which ones you are comfortable aiming for, depending on your pyro situation. Let's see, namely, I'll go in. So besides New Year Archery, things to look out for will be Guide Tsubaki is one. However, that comes with a bit of a caveat because effectively So she is Striker Kotama. Wait, is she Striker? Hold on. Oh, the farm. No, she is a special. So basically, she's a premium version of Kotama. She, so a good AoE attacker. She does a bit of healing. Lots of attacker and healing, and a little bit of healing. Now the issue is, so at max she gives 70% attacker on her EX and an extra 17% from her sub skill. So that's 87% attacker. Now let's see if we can't find. Let's see what Kotama offers. So her attack up is less. It is well, let me double check something first. Okay. It is a 47% plus a 17%. So that's 64%. So you're missing, what did I say? 64% as opposed to 87%. So you're missing 23% attack there. However, Kotama's basic skill, every 30 seconds, she will lower the enemy's attack by right at 19% for 20 seconds. So most of the fights, the enemy's going to be doing about 20% less damage. This is important, this is really important, because in higher levels of the tower, Set starts dealing approximately all of the damage. And when you weigh Guide Tsubaki's equivalent, which was a single target heal, a light heal, he's going to be threatening one-shotting people is the issue. So, and you're just saving one person. Whereas with Kotama, just lowering his attack, he's doing less damage to everyone. So despite the difference in attack, most high-level teams I've seen in the upper levels of the Set Tower, I've seen still use Kotama instead of Tsubaki. But so keep that in mind. That being said, she is quite good because Kotama's quite good and underrated. So if you like her, knock yourself out. Certainly, oh, it's hurting yourself having her. Alright, now after Guide Tsubaki, you have the Bandals. And all of them are quite good. So Band Costa is essentially she's similar to a red version of New Year Akari, and if you'll recall, I went over why she's so bloody good. Well, there's similar reasons for Costa. Now, So massive attack speed up. Lots of attack speed. And she herself starts doing a lot more damage as she gets more stacks of Sugar Rush. So she juices up attack speed as well as assisting in the damage, because she, her basic skill, she gives herself a 37% attack up, lasting 26 seconds, and that triggers every 35 seconds. So most of the fight, she'll be juiced up quite a bit, and every time she uses her EX skill, she gains 2 stacks of Sugar Rush that lasts for 40 seconds, and so that's an extra 21% damage for each of her auto attacks. And reminder, she's actually getting her own attack speed buff as well, so good stuff all around. So basically she doesn't have the color buff, but since Swimsuit Hoshino's already got that covered, it doesn't matter. And instead of the tanking, she adds her additional DPS. Good stuff all around. And then for Band Yoshimi, she is essentially the red queen when it comes to the set raids, because once you activate her EX, which is 10 cost, so that's another thing. It in the set raids, the cost meter, I'm pretty sure is at 20 instead of 10, and you also regen a lot quicker. Well, again, your regen increases the more people you have in the party, of course. So now that's doubled. So and at least in red raids, you'll have Swimsuit Hoshino doing her thing. But so Yoshimi Band is your big main DPS for the red set raids. When she uses her EX skill, she increases her attack and attack speed by 112% for 50 seconds, gives herself 5 stacks of Sugar Rush, which expire every 10 seconds. And then every 10 basic attacks she will deal, or basic skills, every 10 normal attacks she will deal 966% damage to an enemy. And that damage increases a further 5% for each stack of Sugar Rush she has up to by herself or allies, which stacks up to 8, so that's up to a 40% increase in the already fairly nice 966% bonus damage for her every 11th attack. And then she further increases her attack by 26.6% in her enhanced skill, and every 3 basic skills it increases the damage by a further 119% for her subsidy. Basically, she just does a massive amount of auto attack damage, provided you're able to use her EX skill initially to kick all this off. Which in those raids, you very much can and do. So yeah, good stuff. She's Queen Red for set. And then after that, it's the Maid twins, specifically Momoi. And it basically comes down to she's just, well, there's not exactly a lot of options when it comes to Paracore. But her EX skill just juices up her auto attacks further. And her attack speed. Basically she mag dumps. She does mag dumps. Which is hilarious and very strong. And her sub skill works a lot alongside her EX skill because it refunds the ammo she consumes by her basic attacks. So 5.5 seconds every time she uses her EX skill, so just increases the length of time she's mag dumping. Now luckily every single one of these I've mentioned are all permanent. So it could be like, it's a bit like preparing for the Gregorius raid if you want to do high difficulty of him, where you needed very specific students to be able to crack it. And then over time, which unfortunately I have not, well, I've done some of them. I actually don't remember who all of them were. Whoops. Where it's important to pace yourself if you're free to play like myself, and not really pull your hair out over getting them all now, because you'll get them eventually. This game's too generous for you not to. Now, after that, I suppose the only things left to mention are, I don't think either of them get raid ups from now until current JP that I can tell. But if you have Atsuko and Onsen Shigure, they're both really good for the raids. Atsuko's really good in general. She's extremely underrated, which I think people are starting to figure out nowadays, because I'm starting to see her used more and more. She just provides a lot. She's an excellent tank, and she really keeps everyone well healed as well. And then Onsen Shigure just pumps those heals out willy-nilly. So personally, I'm going to try to get New Year Akari. Well, I'm going to get New Year Akari. Let's rephrase that. And then, depending on how lucky or unlucky I am in getting her, like if I get her about the same way that I got dress Aru, then there's a good chance I'll try for the band alts, at least one of them. And Yoshimi would probably be the more important one to get. I feel like band, cause the band alts are limited. So if there are ones that you want to be sure to grab, it would be those two. Momoi can wait because she's permanent. Really, Nuyu Akari could wait theoretically because she's permanent. Of course, the Itsu comes down to she just provides so much for the blue version of the raid. It feels a bit icky to not to go ahead and snatch her up. But the band alts are 2 months away, so there, that should easily be another spark or two saved up by then, since we're pretty much halfway to one anyway. Before the Akari banner. We also have the Grand Assault ticket on the way, which is nice. Oh. Also, alongside Nuyu Akari, Nuyu Fuka, and Nuyu Haruna, they are going to be rated up. Fuka, if you don't have her, she's the priority. Because she's one of the big, she's right up there with Alko and Imari as the big supports. She's really good. Especially if you have Nico. Those two are nigh inseparable. But alright. I think that covers it. So I reckon we'll wrap up now and see you in a couple of weeks when I roll for Nuyu Akari. I don't. Well, hold on. Hold the phone. What's even coming out? So, good events coming up in FGO. Next month sometime. Right, Sennorikyu, as well as the banner that has Okito and Summer Okito rated up together. I will probably roll on both of those banners on my quick and main accounts respectively. Really, since my Okita is already in P2, it would be getting some copies of getting as many of the Summer Okita as I can would be nice. I know this is a Blue Archive stream, but maybe I should just wait until I actually roll on the banner. but I'll say it here just in case. So many people in the player base misunderstands what her MP does. They're like, wait a minute, she stuns herself. That's terrible. You can't farm with her, she'll stun herself. But what they're not understanding is, it's a 60%. Okay, so AMP deals damage, removes defensive buffs. Good stuff. Shame it doesn't do that prior to damage, but it's just the same issue as Melt, really. And then 60% chance to stun herself for 1 turn. Now, let me repeat that. 60% chance to stun herself for 1 turn. It also lowers the enemy defenses for 3 turns by 30%. But with this, stun self 1 turn. So 1 turn. That's important. Let's look at something like Tomacat. What does her MP say? Deal damage to all enemies. Stun self for 2 turns. So, isn't that curious? Because what that means is, after she uses her MP, the enemy's attack, and then your turn comes up, and oh, she's stunned. Well, you end that turn, and then she's not stunned anymore. It's like, well, wait, wasn't that just 1 turn? Well, no, because it's counting the current turn that she's sending the attack out. So let's go back to Samurai Okita here, and it says stun self for 1 turn. That means she's going to stun herself for the turn she uses her MP, which means if you're farming with her, you've already used the MP, so it doesn't matter that she's stunned because she's going to be ready to go her next turn. The next time you get to attack, she's going to be fine. But so many the so-called experts that make those tier lists and misinform people would just rate her terribly because they can't bloody read and don't understand that the turn that she's stunned for is just the remaining turn that she's already attacking in. So you basically you can't Brave Chain with her MP unless you slap, say, the mirror anti-stun command card on her. Then you're okay. Apologies for the tangent, but that's a bit of a pet peeve for me. People misreading that. She's actually quite good. The reason she has that little... well, for one, it's lore-wise. It also makes for an amusing joke, the way she sometimes, in her MP animation, sometimes she just shoots herself up to the stars. Oops. But her kit is actually quite strong. Like, she doubles her crit damage for a turn with a Star Soak. That's a great combination. Now, the demerit is she'll remove one of her latest defensive buff. Okay, she's got an evasion and a sure hit each for a turn. Gives her 20% MP damage up. Third skill is a 3-turn 50% quick up. She's got a 30% MP gauge battery. She increases her MP gen rate by 30% for 3 turns. And she reduces her own defense by 20% each turn for 3 turns. Starting with 10% on turn 1. Now that's treated as a buff. And I've actually never seen it, and unfortunately I haven't, on any of the JP accounts that I had, I didn't have her to test this. But I am curious if her first skill would remove that, since it's treated as a buff. I suspect so, but again, I've not seen anyone actually comment on actually testing it. So I don't bloody know. So yeah, she's got a 50% quick up, lots of MP gen up, and that's the big thing. A lot of quick servers. The difference between being able to loop and just looping like a dream is some MP gen up. That's basically one of the things that makes quick tricky to loop with, is just never having access to some MP gen up. So between the 20% MP damage up and the 50% quick up, that's 70% total damage up she gives herself. That's pretty solid. Three hits MP. Good stuff. Alright. Let's go in that tangent. And with it, this stream, so bugger. So that event, if we were following the JP schedule, would be mid-September when it starts, but you have to remember JP's anniversary is a month after ours, so it should be starting more towards the beginning of the month. And if that's true, then I guess it will be some FGR rolls as the next streams before New Year Akali. So yeah, hopefully we have some good luck there. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully this mic and headset worked okay. Hope you enjoy.